The split second the serpent decided to lunge, its fate was already sealed in stone. A mere flicker of an eyelid. A catastrophic error in judgment. The self-proclaimed master of the brush had just picked a quarrel with an adversary way out of its league. Amidst the baking stillness of the scorched earth, a lethal viper pressed its belly against the dust, muscles wound tight like a spring. Its tail gave a soft, ominous rattle, a final notice intended to halt the duel before the first blow was struck. This beast had weathered 1,000 perils, relying on lightning reflexes, potent toxin, and pure intimidation. But on this scorching afternoon, those weapons would prove useless. Opposite the reptile, a scrawny wildcat advanced unhurried, precise, and completely unfazed. Its gaze remained locked on the viper's skull. No terror, no wavering, just cold, hard mathematics. Every step forward ratcheted up the pressure, saturating the atmosphere with impending violence. This wasn't simple curiosity. It was a tactical appraisal. The viper erupted from its coil, hurling its length forward in a blur of motion that defied the eye. For most victims, that velocity spells instant doom. For the feline, it was merely data to be processed. In a heartbeat, the cat danced to the flank. The lethal jaws snapped shut on thin air, missing by a whisker. Before the reptile could recoil, a paw lashed out, surgical, brutal, and utterly destructive. Sharp talons raked across the serpent's cranium, knocking it backward. The viper reeled disoriented. It lashed out a second time, then a third. Every savage lunge was evaded with disdainful ease. The reptile failed to grasp a fundamental truth: its opponent wasn't just reacting to movements, it was forecasting them. Each missed bite sapped the viper's vitality. Its strikes grew sluggish. Its precision faltered. Conversely, the cat grew bolder, circling and feinting, only committing to an attack when the geometry was flawless. Every swat was calculated, devoid of recklessness, prioritizing dominance over disorderly violence. The dirt beneath them bore witness to the struggle. Plumes of dust exploded upward. The snake writhed in agitation, while the feline maintained an icy composure. This was nature's design at work. Felines are engineered for these exact split seconds, possessing explosive twitch muscles, gyroscopic balance, and the capacity to pivot mid-air. Against such an arsenal, venom is worthless if it never finds flesh. As the serpent's strength waned, the cat froze, observing, anticipating the terminal blunder. The hunter that thrived on instilling terror was now the one being stalked. Yet the skirmish was merely the opening act. If your heart is racing from the suspense, keep that momentum going. Smash that like button to back our channel and hit subscribe to see what unfolds when the next round drives survival instincts to the breaking point. Arrogance is a fatal flaw when logic fails. Somewhere in the gap between the first whiff and the second lunge, the viper sensed a disturbance. The cadence of the fight had vanished. Its primary assets, velocity, ambush, dread, were evaporating with every parry. The feline detected the shift immediately. Now the arena constricted. No vast wasteland, no easy exit. Just jagged terrain, loose gravel, and shadows that rewarded endurance over hysteria. The snake wound itself tighter, hoisting its head, attempting to appear massive and menacing. A textbook intimidation display. A bluff to manufacture distance. The wildcat stood its ground. Rather than back down, it crouched, lower shoulders, hunched tail still. This wasn't rage, it was discipline. Every fiber was loose, primed for detonation. The cat had stopped responding. It was now dictating the engagement. The serpent lunged with full force, targeting the torso. A kill shot intended to finish it. But the cat had calculated the trajectory before the synapses even fired. A crisp sidestep. A lightning-fast riposte. The paw connected solidly with the skull, knocking it askew. Not a death blow, but sufficient to disorient enough to shatter the rhythm. That was the moment terror took root. Serpents aren't defeated by lack of strength. They fall because close-quarters combat penalizes indecision. The more the viper attempted to regroup, the tighter the cat pressed. Minuscule advances, sharp vectors. Zero wasted energy. Each fake-out compelled a reaction. Each reaction burned precious fuel. Another lunge. Another failure. The feline retaliated with a velocity that appeared casual yet defied physics. Gentle taps evolved into concussive slaps, always targeting the same spot, always the cranium. The viper's reflexes dulled just a fraction, but a fraction is all that is required. Once more, the cat hesitated, watching, calculating, allowing fatigue to be its ally. For when a hunter understands it has become the prey, the conclusion is never tidy. If the suspense has you on the edge of your seat, stay right there. Thumbs up the video, subscribe, and don't blink, because Chapter 3 elevates this duel to a stratospheric level of intensity. The transition was nuanced but lethal. This was no longer a dispute over turf. This was primal survival taking the wheel. When the gap narrowed to inches, the feline's demeanor transformed. No more experiments. No more analysis. The wavering evaporated. The reptile perceived it as well, its coils constricted actions becoming frantic rather than fluid. Every bite was driven by panic rather than accuracy. That desperation exposed it. Against a rival that processes movement faster than conscious thought, hysteria is a fatal flaw. The feline initiated the sequence. A blur of forward motion too swift for the eye to follow. The serpent struck simultaneously, fangs shearing through vacant air. The cat pirouetted mid-stride, landing adjacent to the skull rather than before it. A pristine vulnerability. 3 blows connected in under 1 second. Each one surgically aimed. Each one siphoning the will to fight from the viper. This is the juncture where most battles conclude. Not with a killing strike, but with an epiphany. The snake attempted to backpedal, dragging its bulk in reverse, seeking sanctuary. There was none to be found. The cat adhered like a shadow, severing escape routes, dictating the flow. Every effort to raise its head was greeted with immediate retribution. What appeared to be bedlam was actually rigorous control. Felines don't crush through brute force. They suffocate with intensity. Accuracy layered upon accuracy. The serpent's responses lagged. Synapses misfired. Equilibrium vanished. One final crisp impact slammed the skull into the dust. The coils went limp. The stillness reclaimed the land. The victor offered no gloating. It didn't bolt. It loomed over the inert shape, gaze fixed, checking for any twitch of defiance. Because in the unforgiving wild, verification is more valuable than triumph. And within that quietude, the axiom became undeniable: velocity alone ensures nothing. Mastery is the only currency that matters. If you are still watching, you are clearly hooked. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and stick around, because Chapter 4 flips the script as the terrain changes and the danger level skyrockets. The deadliest showdowns do not always happen on the open plains. Sometimes the grimmest fights go down where there is zero room to run. Backyards. The edge of the woods. Those blurred lines where human turf meets the wild. One slip up here creates a body count faster than anywhere else. The serpent slithered out from the underbrush, keeping a low-profile head raised just enough to survey the perimeter. It banked on the clutter for cover. It figured a narrow choke point meant fewer angles to defend against, fewer unknowns. A solid strategy to seize control. That was a fatal miscalculation. The feline had already painted the target. From the high ground, from the flanks, from dark corners, the reptile never even noticed. The cat moved in like a phantom. No rushing, no energy wasted. The cluttered ground was not a hurdle, it was an arsenal. Rocks turned into tactical shields. Bushes transformed into ambush points. Every single inch the cat advanced tightened the noose around its prey. The snake lashed out in a blur, but the cat was already gone. A vertical launch, a mid-air pivot. Those fangs snapped on nothing but air. The retaliation was instant, sharp, focused, knocking the reptile off balance. It tried to recoil, to wind up tight, but the cramped quarters turned its own length into a trap. Every desperate wiggle to reset just dug the hole deeper. The predator closed the gap, forcing the snake to pivot, to panic, to leave its head exposed over and over again. This was not just winning through brute strength. This was a clinic on positioning. The cat dictated exactly where the brawl went down and when it wrapped up. The reptile bolted. A straight shot for freedom. A final gamble. But the cat shut it down instantly, landing squarely in its path, cutting off the exit. Another strike connects. Balance gone. The movements grew sluggish. The threat crumbled under pressure it could not shake. And just like that, dead silence. The victor retreated, a step, senses sharp, chest heaving. It was not a loud triumph. It was clinical, efficient, absolute. Because out here, the crown does not go to the swiftest or the scariest, it belongs to the one who adjusts on the fly. If that showdown changed your perspective on nature's food chain, make sure you like, subscribe, and keep watching, because the final chapter unveils the ultimate weapon in the wild. The most dangerous force in nature is not a toxic bite. It is not mass, and it is not velocity. It is instinct, razor sharp from years of survival, and nothing demonstrates that better than the final seconds of these encounters. One final stage. The tension ratchets up again. A silent courtyard. Dead air. Nothing stirs until the spell breaks. The serpent enters first wary, precise, calculating every inch. It believes patience is its shield, hoping the waiting game lures the enemy into a mistake. Then the feline steps into the light. No pausing this time. No warning shots. No feints. The cat knows how this ends before it even starts.